Hi guys, what is up? Teen Doe's Line 671. Now, fair warning, it is during the day, so I do have a lot of neighbors. And my family's in the house right now, but they're normally okay. But just if you hear any background noises, please don't mind. But anyways, welcome back to the channel, and I'll be showcasing an updated deck profile for the paleo frogs. Due to the new ban list with Paleozoic at 1, numero uno, that's all we need, by the way. That'll be best to update this for you guys. I'm going to be taking this to the tournament, so let's see how these guys do against Sword Souls and Eldritch and all those guys, and the Phoenix Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer, whoever that guy is. But I assure you, this update deck profile will be totally awesome. Just kidding. Without further ado, guys, let's get started. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell so you can be part of that notification squad. So without further ado, we'll start with the monster lineup. We run 3 copies of Swamp Frog. Just so I don't take too much time, I'll go ahead and just briefly describe their effects. All you need to know is that this is pretty much the Stratos of the deck. And he's also a free special summon by sending a water monster. And yeah, Swamp Frog is pretty much the center of your Frog's engine alongside Dupe Frog. If he is the Stratos, he is the Shadow Mist. I'm kind of comparing them to the Elemental Heroes because they were really the first Frog cards. Like this one was released around the GX era, and the Frog deck was in the anime. Almost kicked Jaden's butt. I'm just kidding. But anyways, we also run, if these guys are Stratos and Shadow Mist, then this one is the Destiny Hero Malicious. Because you banish 1 frog in your graveyard to special summon this guy from your graveyard. And he counts as a frog while he's on the field. Dust Frog, that is. My personal favorite and one of the best. And that is it for the monster lineup. Would you believe that? You'll see what the majority of the deck is. But anyways, let's run this. Let's go and go to the spells. 1 copy of Pod Desires. You gotta run that Pod Desires, man, until they bring back Pod of Greed, which is possibly never. Yeah, cause I'm scared of that. At least at 1. Oh well. 1 copy of Card Demise. This allows you to draw until you have 3 cards in your hand. But if you don't use them this turn, you lose them this turn. Okay, so the exact effect is enjoy until you have 3 cards in your hand, and then at the end of your turn, you discard your hand, and the opponent can't take any damage this turn. But in a deck like this is super good. They nerfed this card as much as they could, I swear, from the anime, and it still got limited to 1. It's that good. Anyways, 3 copies. We still run 3 copies of Fury of Karyushin. It searches the Torrential Tribute, and it protects your water monsters from the effect of Torrential Tribute or any other effect that would destroy the by-card effect. It's pretty much a combination of Searcher and Return the Dragon Lords on the second effect, but for your water monsters. Anyways, that is it for the spell lineup. Very fast spell lineup. Let's move on to the traps. Firstly, the Paleo trap cards. So we run 3 copies of Paleozoic Dynamiscus. Pretty much the karma cut of the deck. Note that discarding 1 card is not a cost, it's part of the effect, so it's not entirely like Karma Cut, but you do get to banish 1 face-up card in the field. Then we run 3 copies of Canadia, pretty much the Book of Moon, and 3 copies of Paleozoic Golenoids. Now I waited until I showed you guys all the Paleos to tell you about all of their common second effects. Basically, if a trap card is activated, you can special summon this as a normal type monster with 1200 attack, 0 defense. And I believe this effect doesn't activate. It's just an effect that you could resolve, so it could even go around Trap Trick. That's the beauty of it. You could pretty much use this effect when you activate Trap Trick. So yeah, just so you know. And yes, where I live is near an airport, so you might hear some planes in the background, so please don't be alarmed by that. So anyways, we run 2 copies of Lost Swing. I still think this is very good. I heard of Titanocider, but I personally like Lost One because he could target any special summon monster on the field and cut the attack points in half. And it's permanent. So even though that monster survives, it's still going to sit there with its effects negated and the attack cut in half. Also, you can reset this from your graveyard if the opponent summons from the extra deck. Very good card effect. Next we run everyone's favorite and one of my personal favorite trap card, hand traps. Trap cards, hand traps, an actual hand trap, infinite impermanence. It's pretty much modified effect failure. Target one face-up monster the opponent controls and negates the effects until the end of the turn. And if it was set and you activate it in this way, you can negate all cards within that column of the monster that you negated. So that's pretty good. Well, all other spells and trap effects, that is. I had to read that carefully, just so I don't misform you guys. So when we get to the extra deck, there is something else I need to inform you guys. Kind of a mistranslation on my part. So anyways, let's continue. 2 copies of compulsory evacuation device. It pretty much says bye to one monster in the field, even yours, returns it to the hand. Simple as that. Ice Dragon's Prison. Ice to meet you. I'm just kidding. I had to. So anyways, this one targets one monster in the opponent's graveyard. Special summon it to your side of the field, but the effects are negated. Oh, the effects are negated. Okay. Then you could banish one card in both players' sides of the field that has the same type as each other. It doesn't have to be the one you summon, but it's very useful. Note that the banishing part is optional, so you can actually use this to take the opponent's Destroy Phoenix Enforcer, given you cannot use the effect. So yeah, I might have missed that one earlier in the duel, but now we know. Anyways, 2 copies of Double T in the morning. Just kidding. The effect is simple. When a monster is summoned, destroy all monsters on the field. The good old days when Yu-Gi-Oh! Effects were just so simple, right? I'm just kidding. I like how they're more complex now, but you know, it takes a lot of reading skills. Anyways, Stormy Mirror Force, and very much an update of the original Mirror Force. Does what the original Mirror Force does. When the opponent's monster declares an attack, return. Then instead, you return all attack position monsters your opponent controls to their hand, which is very strong. It's anti-Dragoon, it's anti-Destroy Phoenix Enforcer, it's anti-Sword Souls, it's anti-a lot. Before people want to run this because they'll get shot easily, but in a deck like this, you don't have to worry about it because you have like bullet negates. I'm just kidding. Term that we use here in Guam. Anyways, we run 2 copies of Trap Trick. This pretty much says if you have a normal trap and you have a lot of copies, no problem. You could banish that from your deck. Sorry, you could banish one of those copies from your deck, and then it sets it directly from your deck. So you could banish this one, and then set another Treasure Tribute. But the only downside is that you can only activate that trap card, but your Paleos from the graveyard, they're like, okay, we're cool, we could summon ourselves anyways. I'm just kidding. But anyways, that will do for the normal trap cards. So we're gonna go ahead and move on to, I missed one. We're gonna go ahead and move on to the counter traps. So we run 2 copies of Solemn Strike. Now this effect's pretty simple. Pay 1,500 life points, negate a special summon of a monster, or negate this monster effect. Very ideal, very good. Then we run 3 copies of Solemn Judgment. I try to get that other gold rare, sorry guys, but it's okay. At least they're all hollow. Anyways, Solemn Judgment pretty much is Steven Krause saying, no, 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 no. I'm just kidding. It pretty much says negate the activation of a trap, negate the activation of a spell, negate a monster, or not monster effect, negate the summon of a monster. But unfortunately it doesn't negate a monster effect, but that's where some strike comes in. They come hand in hand like Batman and Robin. Sorry, a lot of Batman and Robin references. I know that movie's super cheesy, but it has a special place in my heart. Anyways, we're gonna go to the extra deck. We run 2 copies of a card that is totally awesome. I'm sorry, I gotta say that joke while I can. Oh, he's pretty much the boss monster of the deck. He's pretty much Xian. Negate an activation of an effect. An activation of a card effect. You could destroy it, then you could set it on your side of the field. Then during each of the standby phases, you could summon a frog buddy from your deck, and that's a good thing because you need to tribute 1 frog as cost to negate a card effect and destroy it and set it on your side of the field. So this guy is totally wicked. I'll spare you the joke, guys, for this instance. Just kidding. So the Paleo lineup, 2 copies of Paleozoic Opabino. Like I said in the other deck profile, this is pretty much your Bakura the Destructor. You can detach 1 Extreme material, search for Paleozoic trap card, add to your hand, and also you can you could activate your Paleozoic traps from your hand. And unlike the nerfed version of Bakura, you could activate any number of Paleozoic trap cards from your hand, which is very powerful. And him and all the other Paleozoics, when they're summoned as monsters, they're unaffected by monster effects. So they're mini First of the Dragons, which is really good. That's also cool because Ash Blossom can't negate this guy. How cool is that, right? Also unaffected by monster effects. Paleozoic Anomalocatus, if I said that correctly. Okay, so this one's pretty much he is pretty much the original Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer. If you have a Paleozoic trap as a material, you could detach 1 C material as cost during either player's turn, destroy 1 card in the field, which is really cool. He has a second effect that I keep forgetting about. If a trap card is sent from your spell trap zone to the graveyard, except during the damage step, excavate the top card of your deck, and if it's a trap card, add it to your hand, otherwise send it to the graveyard, which is also cool. So he's kind of like Card Trooper in a sense. Anyways, 1 copy, number 45, Crumble Logos, the Prophet of Demolition. This one's just negate a pesky face of card in the field, and also cards with the same name cannot activate. So let's say, for example, you're up against Invoked and you're tired of that field spell, you could just bust out that guy and negate the field spell, and they cannot activate another name of that field spell, so you kind of lock them out of that one. So that's why I keep him here. It's mainly for the invokes or another deck that may be a hindrance. Like their sword soul synchro that could save himself from being destroyed, and you could just bust this guy on like you can't save yourself from being negated. I'm just kidding. Anyways, speaking of which, we're gonna also run 1 copy of Sky Cavalry Centauria. This one cannot be destroyed by battle, so this works as a cat shark basically. In more ways than one, this is arguably better than cat shark. So when it battles a monster at the end of the damage step, it could return that monster to the hand, and it doesn't target, so it's anti-dragoon and anti-destroyer Phoenix Enforcer. You know what I mean. And let's see. Also, you have to detach 1 XC material to do that, but that's fine. 1 copy of Downer Magician. We all know what she's here for, not the effect, but as material. She is the backbone of this guy, Zeus. Okay, so earlier I did say you could use Zeus as material and overlay on top of Zeus. That is correct. However, that effect to do so is only once per turn. So let's say, for example, you summon Zeus, you do all this beautiful stuff, you summon Zeus, then it's the opponent's turn, then you use the effect, then it's your turn, then you could overlay on top of Zeus. So my apologies if I misinform you guys, but that is the correct way to use Zeus in terms of his effect or condition to overlay on top of another XC monster that battled. So yeah. Oh yeah, and the XC monster has to battle in order to do that, so as long as you keep that in mind. One copy of Nightmare Service, because monster spell and trap removal is very important, and Cerebus is a key card. If Zeus is being used against you, this is a good one to use against Zeus, and it shoots a lot of monsters in general that could be summoned from the main monster to the main monster zone. And with the modified MR5 as they call it, there's a lot more targets you can shoot with this now, so Cerebus is very much welcomed in here. Then we also run one copy of Nightmare Phoenix. Pretty much if this is the tribute to the Doom, this is the Mystical Space Typhoon by discarding one card in the field. Then we run the Nightmare Unicorn, and then this one is like a combination of the two, but you target one card on the field and shuffle it to the deck. So it's good against Sword Souls, or this Destroy Phoenix Enforcer. Apparently the chickens think so too. And then, last but not least, we run one copy of Axis Code Talker. Kidding. We run one copy of Paleozoic Dragon. Okay, let me make room for this bad boy. There you go. Paleozoic, I still like him, even though I would have access to Axis Code Talker. Anyways, I would still prefer to use this one because on its own it could still overpower on Dragoon or Phoenix Enforcer, and although you could bless you, bro. Although we could you could negate Axis Code Talker when he targets an a Link monster in the graveyard. This one is 3,000 by itself, so he's still a big body, and he's also helps with defense, unlike Axis Code Talker. So he could work both offensively and defensively. So for all your budget-friendly players, this is the best alternative for Axis Code Talker, and I'm on the same boat as you guys. I can't stress that enough. And don't worry, one day I'll have access to Axis Code Talker. Sorry, I'm on a roll right now with my puns. Anyways, let me go and show you guys the extra deck really quick. We run 2 copies of Lord of the Heavenly Prison. This was introduced by my older brother. So this one says you can reveal this from your hand, and then your spells and traps this on the opponent's turn cannot be destroyed by card effects. And also, if you activate a spell or trap while this is revealed in your hand, you could special summon this, then set one spell or trap directly from your main deck. Be any of your cold traps, or like a really sweet board wipe like Hoppy's Feather Duster, Regeki, Lightning Storm, you name it. Then we run 2 copies of another rock, Nibiru the Primal Being. Well, we all know why he's here. He's Armageddon, basically. I don't want to miss a thing. Anyways, one copy of Called by the Grave. You know why. One copy is Harpy's Feather Duster. His effect is destroy all spells and traps the opponent controls. It's simple, right? Yeah, that's Yu-Gi-Oh! Back then, but now it's more complex. It went from Dragon Ball Z to Dragon Ball Super. Hence kidding. Anyways, Summon Limit, new addition, for every deck basically that summons more than 2 times, which is like very common. Much easier to activate than Nibiru. You can even chain it on their second summon and surprise, and they cannot summon anymore, according to what I was told. Then 2 copies of Boson Match. Mainly for decks that you know this would work against. If they really can't have the same attribute on the field, then this will hurt them. 2 copies of Rivalry of the Warlords in principle. If they know they can't summon the same monster type on the field, this will definitely hurt them. Then a special tech of mine, and it actually works, Dimensional Barrier. Good against Drytons, because don't forget it could stop it could negate ritual monsters on the field and prevent ritual summoning. And also it could prevent and stop fusions, synchros, and exceed summons. Except links, but that's fine. it's still a very good card. So anyways, guys, this is my deck profile for the Paleo Frogs, and I hope you enjoy. You notice I'm not running the Lightning Storm anymore. I decided that this deck is centered more around trap cards, so I feel there's not really a need to. Besides, I have like arguably better board wipes like Nibiru. So anyways, guys, I hope this helps. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell, and be part of that notification squad. And I'll see you guys in the next video. See you around, guys.